Thursday Throwback Story here. Kmart. First, I gotta take a sip of my water here because my allergies have been acting up all day today. As you can see, my eyes are all bloodshot, kind of. Got some tissues over here just to make sure I don't have to keep getting up and going to get some toilet paper to blow my nose. All day today. Well, not all day. It hasn't really been all day yet, but all morning this morning, basically. It's been, my allergies have been acting up. Anyway. So today's Thursday Throwback Story is on Kmart. Now, Kmart, I grew up going to Kmart. This is a little Thursday Throwback Story of the times of going to Kmart, basically. There's not just one particular story, it's just a whole bunch of stories combined into one, going to Kmart all the time, going to Little Caesars, going to get toys, to get some Hot Wheels cars, or they used to have these adventure wheels, or whatever the heck they were called. They're like construction vehicles that they used to have, that they were pretty good. They were kind of like their version of Tonka trucks, basically, but they were little mini toys that they had. I used to get those all the time, or go there for going to school, for getting school clothes, for back to school shopping. My mom would go there. Kmart at one point was a lot cheaper than Walmart, and then they started to go, their prices started to go expensive. Their prices started to go way up. You know, for the past several years that they were open, they before they closed in 2019, or 2018, their prices were expensive. I knew when Kmart started to try to get customers in, when if you remember that video I did of the Kmart little mini cups that I have, that was the last several years that Kmart was open, or the last couple years that Kmart was open, and I knew at that time, and I had a feeling in my, my stomach and my gut that Kmart was going downhill and they were going to be closing soon, because honestly, Kmart, there's a lot of people that used to always say Kmart was like, one day they would be open and the next day it would probably be permanently closed, and that's how it happened, basically. Now, Kmart closed in 2018. I believe it was around mid-March or April, I believe. Last day I went to Kmart, it was very sad. Employees were crying. Well, they weren't crying, but you could tell that they've been probably up all night and they were just emotional. And I said, thank you guys very much for doing what you did throughout the years and making this place like a second home to me, going to Kmart. And basically it was like a memory of mine, basically. And that's what I did. And it was kind of sad when they closed, because I loved Kmart. I loved going to Kmart back in the day more than going to Walmart. I loved going to Kmart. Going to Little Caesars to get a slice of pizza or a whole entire pie for the family. My dad would get us, or my mom would get us, back to school clothes or whatever. Or going there to get toys, or going there to get Easter baskets, or going there to just, get pharmacy products or whatever, like at the pharmacy or whatever. So going to Kmart was kind of a thing that we did all the time, basically. Well, not all the time, but most of the time we go to Kmart. We didn't go to Walmart, When Kmart was a thing, we didn't go to Walmart. We didn't go to really Target. Target, really wasn't part of my childhood because they opened up in like 2008. I mean, I guess you could say it was part of my childhood, but it was my later childhood years. So there wasn't a lot of memories of Target in my early childhood years. But, maybe in my mid-childhood years, before I was a teenager, Target was the thing. But, it was basically Kmart and Ames, or Hills. But when I was a little kid, like, Hills wasn't really a thing because it closed in 1999. So I was basically an infant, or maybe not infant, but a toddler or whatever, a couple years old. So it's like maybe 2 or maybe a 1. I think I was like 1 when they closed Hills. So Ames and Kmart and Walmart, when they were a discount store, was basically the 2 stores that we went to for shopping for clothes or getting toys or whatever. Birthdays. Many birthdays were Kmart, where a lot of people, my family, would buy me Kmart toys, and wasn't high-end toys or something, but it was, what we could afford, But many birthdays I got toys from Kmart, or when Toys R Us was open too. But that was a very rare. I think I only got like one toy from Toys R Us when I was a little kid, and that was about it. And then Toys R Us closed in like 2002 or something, so it wasn't really part of my childhood that much. But Kmart, Ames, and when Walmart was a department, like just a discount store, they weren't a super center like they are now, was basically part of my childhood. But mostly Kmart. Now Ames closed in 2002, so they really weren't that much part of my childhood, but they were kind of. But Kmart, if you don't know what Ames was, it basically was like Kmart. And apparently they're coming back in 2026, but I don't know. Anyway, Kmart, I miss Kmart, I really do. Kmart was a really good place to go and to get clothes, and for a reasonable price. Well, back in the day, like when they started to go downhill, their prices started to go up. Their quality really wasn't that good. They used to also have a portrait studio, I believe it was called Olin Mills. I don't think we ever got. I think they closed like way before I was born or something, because I don't remember going there. But I remember they used to have like this wall, makeshift wall that was up to separate so people wouldn't go in the back of there because it was closed when I could remember. Layaway, Kmart layaway was a very good thing, because my parents didn't have all the money in the world, so they would put stuff on layaway. We'd get like the necessities and stuff, but the stuff that was kind of expensive, they put it on layaway, and they would chip in and put money on every so often. We go to Plattsburgh, so layaway was a very good thing at Kmart. And actually, Kmart, I believe, was the first place to actually introduce layaway, and then other stores started to introduce layaway, if I'm not mistaken. I think Walmart, after Kmart introduced layaway, I think Walmart introduced layaway, or something like that. I believe Kmart was the first one to introduce layaway, if I'm not mistaken. And then other stores started to go in and do layaway as well. And also Kmart's Blue Light Special. Now, Kmart's Blue Light Special, I really don't remember it. I think it was like a 70s, 80s thing, maybe early 90s, and I think they might have had it every so often, but they didn't have it as much as they used to, and that wasn't really a thing when I was a little kid. I don't really remember that, but like they used to have advertisements and like specials and stuff, but it wasn't like when they used to have the lights or whatever. Kmart's Blue Light Special was a thing where a lot of things were on really good, steep discount, basically. It was really good discount that they would have stuff on, I guess, or something like that. It was like a sale. Very good clearance sale. Another thing about Kmart was they had a lot of good stuff for snacks as well, in their snack department. They didn't have like a grocery store, or like what Walmart's got, or Target even. They just had like, the condiments and pantry items and stuff like that. But they had a pretty good soda section. It was okay, and that's actually where I found Mountain Dew Ice, which was Mountain Dew Ice Cherry, actually. I don't know if it was Mountain Dew Ice Cherry or Mountain Dew Ice, but I found those at Kmart before I found it anywhere else. So, that was a pretty good thing, too. Just Kmart was just a really good place to go back in the day. And like I said, they started to go downhill throughout the years, but Kmart, rest in peace, Kmart. This is a Thursday Throwback Story here on Kmart. Hopefully everybody likes this video here.